Hey there, welcome to this week's 4-Minute Friday, and today I want to talk about lead generation. So if you haven't joined me before, my name is Brian Conway from 𝗬𝗰𝗱success.co.uk. This is, as I said, 4-Minute Friday, where I take about 4 minutes on a Friday to share with you a tip, a strategy, a tactic around either sales or marketing, but something that will help you grow your top line. So as I said, this week I want to talk about lead generation, and usually for these videos there's a catalyst, something that happened during the week, and this week I was clearing my office and I came across a letter. Now, I've talked about letter writing before. It's a very powerful outreach technique. It doesn't matter whether you're a business owner trying to bring in new clients to your business, or you're an individual contributor, a sales professional, and you're trying to find some net new logos, open up some new accounts. Letter writing is a very powerful tool in your arsenal that is totally underutilized, and therefore, if you use it, gives you differentiation. And maybe remember, one of the things that I often say is that the way you sell, not just what you sell, is your key differentiator and can make a big difference in the impact you can have in your market. So, this was a letter I found while clearing my office this week. It's from Cotswold Outdoors. So if you know them, they're a big high street retailer selling outdoor apparel and equipment, multi-$100 million company. This letter is from the head of IT. Now, this is one of my clients. So one of my clients, we put together a letter campaign. Now, here's the keys to making this work. All right. First of all, you need to be very specific. If you know my smart marketing framework, I always talk about specificity. That's the S of smart. You've got to be very specific on who you're targeting and what you're offering. None of this selling everything to everybody, because you end up selling nothing to nobody. All right, and I'm not sure about the grammar there, but I hope you get the sentiment. So be much more specific. So in this instance, we said we're going to sell to retailers and we want to sell MPLS. Now, if you're not in the tech sector, that may not kind of mean anything to you, but don't worry, it's a type of technology. So we sort of branded, almost created a retail MPLS offering. And we put together a series of letters to a very specific size of retail outlet and said, or retailers, and said, this is our offering. Would this be of interest to you? And there's a big offer in there as well with regards to what the offering is, and sent out the letters. One of the first letters that actually came back, which was interesting, was from Cotswold Outdoors. And it reads, a paraphrase, but dear Mr. X, that's my client, thank you for your letter regarding your retail MPLS network offering. Your letter caught my attention, and we are in the process of considering changing providers. I would, and therefore decided to respond to you in the same format, by letter. I am interested in having a discussion with you to establish your role in the refresh of our infrastructure, and blah blah blah. It goes on like that. Please feel free to contact me. Here's all my personal details, etc. So the fact that somebody took the time to write back just shows how much of an impact it can have. And when Mr. X, my client, spoke to the head of the IT for Cotswold, he said, I was surprised to get a letter. I haven't had a letter in years other than bills. So that's the point. People don't get letters. It's different. It stands you out from the crowd. And it also warms your prospect up. So if you are going to email and eventually maybe have to pick up the phone and do a cold call, it's less cold. It's a little bit cooler. Also, you maybe warm calling because you've got this person has already seen your letter. The number of times my client would ring a client, or prospect, I should say, one of these prospects, and the prospect would say, I've got your letter here on my desk, actually. I've been meaning to call you. They just get busy, but the letter stands out. It's still there on the desk. It's a bit like postcards I talked about last week or the week before. They just make an impact. So maybe, whether I said you're a sales professional and looking to bring on some net new logos, you're a business owner and just trying to generate more business, put letters into the mix. Not exclusively. I said, you've got to have, and I've said in the past, you've got to have a mix of different mediums, but put this into the mix and it can make a difference. Now, just a couple of tips. We're doing this. One, we're not talking about mass mail shot. If you're a sales professional, for example, you might just choose to target 25 new accounts. And you're just going to go after them. So you've got to write 5 letters a day for a week. That'll be it. And you've done your 25 letters. So it's not that onerous, but you are writing letters. Now, I don't mean handwriting each letter. You can print the letters, but you hand sign. But more importantly, the envelope, you handwrite the address and you put a regular stamp on it. Not franked and not a label. It doesn't want to look like a mail shot. It needs to look like a personal letter, because that will get through the mail sift. If they have a PA or some kind of gatekeeper, it will get through that sift where they look at it and go, mail shot, ooh, personal letter. It looks like for Mr. X, whatever, I'll pass it through, put it in their in tray. So there's some tips, but just think about that. Use it as one of the mediums in your outreach, and I promise you it can make a difference, and it can make you stand out from the crowd, and that really is half the battle when you're trying to, as I said, open up some new avenues and some new revenue opportunities. So that's it for this week. Thank you for your time. I trust you got value from that. Please do like, share, subscribe, all that sort of good stuff. Always appreciated. If there's anything you'd like me to cover in specifically, put in the comments or reach out to me. If you'd like others from free sales resources, please do visit 𝗬𝗃success.co.uk. And until next week, have a wonderful weekend, and more importantly, a great week of selling next week. I'm Brian Conway. This has been 4 Minute Friday. Goodbye.